Thanks for joining us for another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with Dr. Jacob Kovalio. He is a professor at Carleton University, professor, Department of History. We're having an ongoing conversation about China and the world, which includes conversations about Canada, of course, but also Japan and some of the immediate issues and longer-term issues that are affecting Western countries. Dr. Kovalio, thanks for joining us for this extended broadcast.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine, really. In principle, not only in principle, but in reality, what your show and the News Forum are doing is a phenomenally crucial job in serving the role of some kind of an island of sanity, balance, and truth in an environment that's many times gives me the impression that we are in a sinisterist situation. Sinisterism is a word I coined from the Latin sinister for left. So going back to the strategic or international situation, there's just this very interesting and annual, extremely important conference in Halifax, the annual security conference with participants, including the U.S. Defense Secretary, Mr. Austin, and the Chinese Defense Minister, Wei Fenghe. These platforms are very important for engaging in communication with the other side, not with harboring any kind of illusions as to the very deep divide that exists between the democracies and the totalitarian entities, headed, of course, first and foremost, and more than any other, by China. So while being in contact, exchanging views, not holding back, by the way, at all, but then at the same time preparing ourselves for worst case scenarios, that is a very important element in my view. Secondly, there is the issue of involvement, very timely in our case, involvement in our domestic politics by elements such as, again, the Chinese regime.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because that is coming to light, these revelations of Chinese Communist Party interference in Canadian elections.
Right.
What's your take on that?
Right. That's the point. We, the democracy, are at an obvious disadvantage when interacting with a regime such as China's or even Russia's, if you will, to which we have absolutely no access in any form, in other words, to express critical opinions of the regime and so on and so forth. The other way is, well, we are a free and open society, thanks God, but we really have to learn how to deal with the fact that foreign elements, foreign entities that don't exactly support or, well, which try to take advantage of this phenomenally wonderful freedom that we have for just almost everybody. So what do? Well, we should engage in as much as possible of a reasonable campaign of informing Canadians as to what it is that's happening here specifically. In the last 2 years, there have been not one, not two, but 3 book-length treatments of Chinese espionage in our country and in Australia. I'm talking about Sam Cooper's Willful Blindness, which focuses actually on the so-called COVID-19 crisis that started in 2020, and then Jonathan Manthorpe's book, and in the case of Australia, which is also the receiving end of a lot of Chinese shenanigans, Clive Hamilton. If you can write an entire book or even more than one on that kind of an activity, it is up to us not to stop being what we are, God forbid, but to spread the word as to what kind of a reality we're facing and the manner in which we should conduct our relationship with China. United Front Work Department is the kind of arm of the party, everything and anything under the aegis of the Communist Party.
Sure.
Nothing occurs outside of its, completely and dominant position. So they've interfered with the well-being of Canadians of Chinese immediate Chinese ancestry,
We're going to
creating
just take
unpleasant.
another break.